Well, well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, June the 30th, 2023. Friday, June the 30th. Can you believe half the year gone already? And it seems like this year just started, but oh my goodness. Well, we have Ava yelling at Austin, Austin being annoying as to me he possibly can, as transparent as he is. And she brought up a good point. You know, you seem to have gone through quite a few women here in town. He went through Maxie. He went through who was after Maxie? I think she said no. Then you latched on to me after the Hook killing or after I got hooked. But realistically, him and Britt, to me, that made the best couple. She died, but to me, he had no string. There was no strings attached with Britt. But then once they wrote her off, they decided to truly take him into this direction, right? But anyway, so they're yelling at each other, and he kisses her, and she pushes him away. Don't you dare kiss me first. When she angrily runs up to him and grabs his face and starts kissing him first, back or first, because in her terms, I'm first, right? That's the way her and Nicholas were. That kind of borderline abuse before sex. That'll never work. And Ava, you're stupid. Follow your right mind. She knows something is not right here. Because he's the one, they'll kill us both. They'll kill us both. No, you've been involved with them for years, Austin. Involved. I think he's even related. Who knows? So, no, they're not going to kill you, but they'll kill Ava. Or you'll kill Ava, realistically. Here's the deal. How long ago was Austin ordered to go back to Paul Tuck or whatever you're going to call it? He never went back. He's like, nope, I ain't doing it. I ain't going back. Nope. So he's not afraid of being killed, right? Because they're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him because he is more involved than they're letting us see. I think they truly hadn't decided on Austin's true storyline. So they left it way too open-ended for me, right? Just way too open-ended. And then after Ava slept with him, she was trying to get him to leave the house. She's making up the bed around him. He's like, I'm still in it. She's like, well, get out of it. She's picking up his clothes and saying, oh, no, you got to go. He wanted to make a little day of it, whole night of it. And she's like, no, So she does end up getting him pushed out the door, but she's not happy. I mean, you can even see it in her face. Her gut is telling her something's wrong, just like it did with Nicholas, that something is off here, right? But at least with Nicholas, she loved him for some strange, ridiculously abusive reason, right? But with Austin, her spidey senses are going off from day one, and she's not listening to them. That's going to really, really come back to bite her. And guess what, everybody? I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come back to bite Ava. Now, I got to mention this fashion faux pas. What is that? I have never seen Curtis look that horrible in clothes. What's going on with the wrinkles or what's going on with the jacket? And why is he wearing a shirt not tucked into his pants under that jacket? He looks terrible. I mean, I was like, man, is he a hobo? You know what's happening here? It's Curtis. Did you grab Marshall's jacket? Because that don't look like nothing you'd wear. So anyway, I had to point that out. I just shook my head. I rewound. I mean, I rewound it a bit, and I'm looking at my computer. I'm like, no, oh no, I've never seen him look like that. And don't do it again, wardrobe. That ain't working. So now he's at Portia's office. He showed up at Portia because he always wanted to tell Portia, why do you tell? Why did you tell? She goes, I didn't tell Portia. You didn't tell Portia, who did? She's like, someone else told Portia. Who, Jordan? And she's like, her brother told her. How would Zeke know? And she said, well, I told him at the poolside at the Metro Court. And he goes, why would you tell him that about us? And she goes, for one thing, I didn't know who he was. For two, I had just found out you went back to Portia. I was hurt. And for three, I needed somebody to talk to. You had Portia. And then I found out he was Portia's brother because she introduced me, and it was too late at that point. So guess who had called her before Curtis came? Zeke. And she goes, we have nothing to discuss. I got to go. And she hangs up. Well, Zeke ain't taking no for an answer. See, oh no, Zeke, no. You don't get to now come around. He goes, well, I feel we have something to discuss. We need to discuss this. He shows up at Jordan's office. And she goes, if I don't want to talk to you on the phone, what makes you think I want to talk to you in person? And he looks at her, and then he looks past her and sees Curtis, and then he walks on in. Does my sister know you're here? And Curtis says, it's none of your business what your sister knows and what she doesn't know. Zeke. And then Curtis is like, I suggest you mind your own business. And Zeke is like, my sister is my business. And he goes, oh, really? Really? And Curtis says something else to him. And he goes, that's not even what I'm talking about. Because when Zeke said, my sister, he goes, that's not even who I'm talking about. He goes, I'm talking about Trina. Why would you tell Trina to stay away from me and she shouldn't trust me? Because they shouldn't. And Portia's kind of looking like, whoa, you said that? So Curtis says, you know what, Zeke? And Jordan says, you know what? Neither one of you two can be trusted. That's what she said. And they both looked at her. She's like, so you both can get out of my office. And so Curtis says, I'm going to tell you this, Zeke. You better stay out of my business. And he walks by Zeke. He did everything but shoulder bump Zeke. I thought they're going to have him do that kind of shoulder bump him as he walks past. Because Zeke's a $120, right? Curtis, boom. And Zeke will be like, man, whoa, hey. So then Zeke is telling Jordan, no, I mean, we need to talk. We need to talk. She says, you know what? You don't understand. There is absolutely nothing for us to talk about ever again. That's what and he just looks at her, and then he just turns and he leaves. And I thought, no, Zeke, you were a piece of tail. And now she realizes that piece of tail, you're not worth it. You're too messy, Zeke. Too messy, right? Jordan needs to hold her ground, actually, with both Curtis and Zeke, both of them like this, like, look, both of you, neither one of you get within this. No, stay away from me. And Jordan, that's exactly what she needs to do, period. because I don't know about you, everybody, but I absolutely, positively do not trust Zeke. So now Sasha comes, Sunny calls Sasha to come see her, and she does. And I don't know, everybody, she looks smaller in the outfit they had her on today. Before her other outfits, that belly was way out there. I'm thinking, did that girl have her baby and come right back to work? Because she looks smaller. But anyway, I know she plans on taking maternity leave, and she hasn't taken it yet, but she had a real good, honest talk with Sunny. Said, no, I have good days and I have bad days. I mean, sometimes I wonder, am I making the right choice with ending it? But everything in me tells me that is right and that is time, you know? And as she's saying it, like it was just really hitting her that, yes, I may have good days and bad days, but overall, it's time to take my life back, right? So anyway, at the end, Sunny tells her, you know what, Sasha? If you would have said everything's fine, everything's coming up roses, like some people like to make you believe, then I would have been worried. He said, because when people want you to believe everything's okay, it's not okay at all. Because he says, I already know I have good days and I have bad days. Nothing's ever 100% okay, ever, right? And so she goes, Sunny, I'm so happy that you talked to me. She goes, I feel so much better. And he goes, and you know what, Sasha? I feel like you're ready. He goes, even though Gladys, because he told her, Gladys, I think Gladys doesn't feel it. He goes, even though Gladys doesn't, I feel you're ready. You feel you're ready. You have to follow your heart, Sasha, or your gut on this. So she's really happy that she talked to Sunny, and he, did a really good job talking to her. So good for you, Sunny, because he's always liked Sasha. He always has. So that was good. So then we have Portia and Trina are talking. Portia's talking to Trina about, why would you take that from Curtis? He did wrong. She was just going on and on and on and on. Uh, you know, and Portia's like, Trina, wait, what's going on between me and Curtis is going on between me and Curtis. She said, this has nothing to do with you. And I don't want you in this, Trina. She goes, let me handle Curtis. We're going to take it a step at a time. But bottom line, is my decision to make, right? And so Trina is just like, well, okay. It's just I worry about you and I care. And so she goes, but look, let's talk about, because Spencer called her. And she goes, oh, do you have to take that? She goes, no, it's just Spencer. And she puts the phone down. She goes, wait a minute. Just Spencer? Trina, honey, what's going on? And Trina tells her, bottom line, she hates the fact, which I would too, that Esme and Spencer are living in the same place in Laura's house. She hates that. She's like, because after everything Esme has done, for her to be in that close quarters with Spencer, she doesn't like it. But she understands the baby is there. She's like, but so Portia says, yeah, well, Ace is in Spencer's life. That automatically makes Esme in Spencer's life, therefore your life. And she goes, yeah, I know. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to to deal with that. She goes, but I haven't made up any, real decisions. And she goes, Portia's like, well, you know how I feel about Spencer. She goes, yeah, I know. But Trina's like, Spencer has changed. He has evolved and grown, but then he does have his tendency where he slips right back into his spoiled, entitled way. And Portia says, well, I can't see that you've made a big difference in his life. I honestly can see that. But Trina finally says, Mom, it'll be my decision. Just like Portia told Trina with Curtis, it'll be her decision. Trina pretty much is like, Spencer's mine, my decision to make. And Portia didn't try, but she goes, Esme and him are going to be taking parenting classes. And I thought, that wasn't decided at all with Spencer. But you're going to tell Trina that, right? And Trina says, I don't care about them taking parenting classes. That's going to equip him more of what's going on with his little brother. Because see, bottom line, that's not Spencer's son. Right? So okay, he's gonna learn about how to take care of his little brother. So Portia she in her mind thinking, oh shoot, that didn't work. No, it didn't work, Portia. No, it didn't. I'm telling you, I do not like Portia. I don't like Portia at all. But what was interesting, everybody, how many of you feel like I feel that Esme does have her memories back? I feel like that. I feel she does. Because, yesterday she walked in on Spencer and he yelled at her and told her to get out and she left. But he's on the phone trying to get a hold of, call Trina for the umpteenth time. She's not picking up. And as he goes, Trina, look, please, I really want to speak to you. And Esme comes barreling in his room again. Spencer needs to lock his door. Barreling in his room. This time she's got a baggie full of ice. I brought this for, get out of here. And he's yelling, get out of here, Esme, leave. Oh, you hear it, and that's on the recording. And so he goes, I'm sorry, Trina, about that. But anyway, please, I want to talk to you. Instead of not leaving that voice message, you know how you click delete, right? He just whatever, right? And Esme's like, I brought this for you. I read that you need to put cold on it because of the. He said, I don't want it. I told you to get out of my room. And so she looked at him and then she threw the bag of ice right at the big old bruise. He goes, ow, what the heck? You said another word, right? And he says something to her and then they go back and forth. And then, you're acting like you care. And she goes, look, you have to be okay for Ace because I'm counting on you to do your part and this, that, and the other. And if I have to take you to the emergency room in the middle of the night, that'll interrupt Ace's sleep. And she's just going on and on. And so he's just looking at her and he puts his shirt on and he's just kind of glaring at her. And then she says something about you and I, because how did the fight start? How did it? And he's not going to say we're trying to get evidence on you because it doesn't matter how it started. I can't stand Jocelyn's boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, so you're always picking fights, and he goes, not always, but I have a temper and blah, blah, blah. She goes, well, I know what it feels like when everybody feels every little thing you do that you're reverting to your bad self and this, that, and the other, at least, Spencer's like, yeah, I understand how that is too, because they think Spencer hasn't matured, right? Well, look, the way he acts around Dex, he hasn't matured. Because see, he's not at his Uncle Sonny's house to when Dex walks in, Dex at work and say, go get my dry cleaning, dog. That's Spencer. See, now that he's living at Laura's and he's seeing Dex out and about, Dex is like, I'll deck you like there's no tomorrow. You swing first at me again. And Spencer didn't. Look what happened. The first time he didn't learn, right? Because Dex got him at the gym in the steam room. Spencer came back for more. Dex got him again and worse this time. So anyway, they were talking and she goes, so we were a couple. Can you tell me about how we were? And he goes, I don't like talking about that. I mean, I just want to know. I mean, it couldn't have been all bad. You said we were together, what, like a year? So it couldn't have been all bad. He says, because reason why, he told her, I don't like talking about that time, is you were my first friend that I had at that school. When you came and we became friends, he goes, the others weren't my friends. They would hang around me to try to get however much money they could get from me. But you were different, so I thought. And he said, I could talk to you. I thought I could trust you. And she's looking at him. And he says, and you were my first love. He says, but then to find out that you were lying and manipulating me the entire time. And she just looks. She goes, well, it couldn't have all been a lie. I mean, it's hard for somebody to fake a relationship caring for over a year. All of that can't be faked. And I'm like, yes, it can, Esme. Yes, it can, because you did it. You definitely did it, right? And then he told this story about, for her birthday, he ended up giving her this snow globe that he had in his room, cheesy snow globe and a necklace. And he says, and he's kind of smiling and laughing as he's reminiscing about the story. And he goes, I don't know why you like that silly thing so much, but you did. And I ended up giving you the snow globe and the necklace, you know. And she's just kind of like smiling, and he's looking at her, and I'm thinking, is he trying to set her up? Is he trying to see, does she remember the snow globe if he in fact gave it to her? I kind of think Spencer is watching her. It's kind of making it look like he's softening to her, that we could think, but I don't think he is. I think he's trying to see if she remembers. That's exactly what I think Spencer is definitely trying to do. You know, she hasn't completely showed her hand yet. But I think in some of the subtleties, she is showing she remembered. Because she goes, I don't care what you say. I do believe the old me did really care for you. And he just looked at her. Because he told her, more than I'm mad at anyone, I'm mad at myself for being that gullible and easily manipulated by you. He's like, that'll never happen again. And she's just looking at him. I'm thinking, because for her, she's thinking this is a challenge. Because she doesn't want him and Trina together. But what Esme don't know is Trina may be gone before Spencer even get her in there good. Because Trina was attracted to that bad boy Spencer. And all the good girls think they could change a bad boy, and it never happens. They can never change a bad boy. The bad boy might soften up a bit. The bad boy may learn some conscience lessons about right and wrong, good and bad. But ultimately, the bad boy is still going to be a bad boy. Until events in their life make them want to change. And Trina ain't that event. That's the girl he liked. That's the girl he started getting smitten with when he was lying to her, saying he was somebody else. Let's not forget that, Trina. So anyway, that was interesting there. Those two, we're gonna see how far that goes, how far they're gonna let that go. I mean, because I do see more of a pulling apart of Trina and Spencer, but with Spencer leaving to do the movie, the actor Nicholas Chavez, he's gonna need some time away because he's doing the series Murders and he's playing Lyle Menendez. So that means he's going to have to take some time off to truly do this, little mini series. So we're going to see how are they going to write Spencer leaving town for some months while this docu series is done. So we don't know how, but it's going to happen. I don't know, perhaps it's going to be when Nicholas comes back, he leaves, or they find out for one, the baby ain't even a Cassadine. That would just put a dagger in Spencer's heart because he loves that little boy because he feels he's his family. He thinks he's his family. And come to find out it ain't even a Cassadine, that would devastate Spencer more than it would Nicholas. Nicholas hasn't even had time to bond with it. So let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. Gwendolyn says the old Esme is back. She's manipulating Spencer the exact way she manipulated Nicholas, playing the victim role. Seems like Spencer is falling for it again. She will destroy Spencer and Trina's relationship like she destroyed Nicholas and Ava's. I just don't think Spencer is really falling for it. DB says, I knew the day was coming when Spencer would throw Trina away for Esme. Can't stand Portia. I don't know what it is about her. I don't like Portia either. I hope Drew and Carly have a long kiss good night, because as soon as the gates shut, she is finding her way back to Sunny. Can't wait for Nina to get exposed. Yolanda says Dante and Sam, no chemistry and so boring. Oh, I like Dante and Sam a lot. B Brown says, I miss Miss Wu. I think Miss Wu has something to do with Austin. D Brown says, that's what Spencer gets. He tried that before with Dex, and Dex came back on his butt, or put him back on his butt. Now look at poor little Spencer. He better keep his hands to himself because Dex could actually kill him with one snap. He better be glad it's just the ribs. I know. And then Trey Voice says in caps, Spencer is not afraid to die. Oh, who said so? Spencer is too afraid to die. Trey Voice. Spencer got hit in the head with that book in prison on the floor, didn't know what to do. Didn't know what. His Uncle Cyrus had to come in and save the day because Spencer was scared after that point, looking, his head was down. Yeah, no. Spencer is afraid to die. Absolutely. The only one on GH that I could say was not afraid to die was Jason Morgan. That was the only. Now, Jason wouldn't choose to die, but Jason wasn't afraid to die. So, D Brown says to Trey Voice, good, because I would not miss him. Trey Voice said back to D Brown, too bad, because he's the only character keeping GH alive for the moment. Without him, the show would actually cancel. Overstated. General Hospital would not cancel. It's a long-standing soap. However, I agree with you, Trey Voice. Nicholas Chavez is one of the most talented actors that the show has ever had in a long time. I won't say ever, but in a long time. And he is too good for daytime. I said this last year. Nicholas Chavez is too good for a soap opera. He will go prime time. And this Lau Melendez or whatever role is going to be the launch, or his primetime launch. General Hospital is his daytime launch. It got people looking at him. But this other character is going to be his start, and he won't stay. If he's smart, soon as his contract is up with General Hospital, it's see you wouldn't want to be ya. See you wouldn't want to be ya, because they can recast Spencer, and they will. Okay, but this young man is for bigger and better opportunities, bigger and better pay. I think he's gonna play that that murderer, because the show's called Murderers. He's gonna play that murder role very well, probably way too convincing for all of us, right? It's like I don't even really want to see that show, but I'm gonna watch it just because to see him act. Truly, I didn't see no season one. I don't like shows like that. I don't like that kind of show, but I'm gonna watch him act. And D Brown says, so Esme's trying to play like she doesn't care about Spencer, and Spencer's going to lose Trina with his entitled attitude. Spencer thinks he can just punch on Dex anytime. I was so glad Dex popped the crap out of him. That's not what you said, though. That gave Spencer something to remember him by. If Spencer keeps this up, he's going to lose more than just Trina. No, I think he already has. She's getting tired of his BS. Yeah, she is. And Kathy says, I believe it's the pushing Dex on Spencer when they both know he can't stand Dex. Why do they need to be friends? Leave Spencer alone. Dex is no saint. Wait until all this comes out about Sonny and Pikeman. Well, they weren't going on a double date. From what Trina said, they both, Jocelyn and her, ended up having the same idea at the same time, going to that bar. They didn't plan or talk about going there together. They just sat there together at the same table when they saw each other there. And Sabrina says, hello, Daily Recap Lady. I can't stand the way the writers are writing Trina, very self-righteous, and Spencer violent. Regarding Spencer, he's going to star in Monster. Oh, I guess it is Monster. I thought it was called Murder. I guess it's Monster. Is it? About the Menendez brothers. He will play Lyle. SOD said, what is SOD? I can't even think of what SOD is. SOD said it has not started filming yet. This contributes to the tension between the characters, but I think Sparina will prevail in the end. Regarding Joss, I can't wait until she gets hers, and I believe it's coming soon. And Annette says, pretty lady, maybe Tracy is behind Mason, in my opinion. Nope, Annette. And then Annette says, Bobby owned the brownstone building she lived in. Now that would give Carly a hefty penny. The apartment building, that would give Carly millions if she sold it. That could work. Because I can't see and she'll probably inherit Kelly's, but she won't. Carly should not sell Kelly's. Carly could turn Kelly's into a different full-fledged restaurant, but Kelly's has been such a staple in Port Charles. I can't see it being turned into any type of upscale, or I can't see Carly remodeling that and it making it work. Because look, isn't it interesting? They still have not remodeled the floating rib after Julian Jerome planted the bomb and it blew up in there. Mac and Felicia never rebuilt that place. Isn't that interesting? Annette says, why is our Trina treated so bad with Spencer being treated so bad with Spencer relationship, maybe she'll end up with Dex. No, she's not gonna. Oh no. And Trina's not the kind to go for her friends, boyfriends. Annette says, "Pretty lady in the hat. I think Dex may be Spencer's half brother, sharing the same mother, in my opinion." Well, then you don't know Courtney's story very well. Courtney didn't have any other kids at all, and she died right after giving birth to Spencer. So Courtney, Sonny's sister, did not have any other kids. Antoinette says, "I think what is going on with Trina and Spencer is just the way GH is making room for Esme and Spencer. Watch, we'll see. I know." YAA says, "So disappointing if that's the case. Won't watch." I don't want to see Spencer and Esme together at all. I really don't, but who knows what General Hospital is going to do. Brooklyn says, Nicholas Chavez is going to do either a movie or a series. It's a series, a mini series on the Melendez brothers. We'll just wait and see. Hopefully it's temporary, or if not, he'll be recast. Lucy says, "Is Asa Cassadine? A DNA test would tell, but Dr. Portia would mess up the results to keep her daughter Trina away from Spencer." I wouldn't put that past Portia. If she knew there was a DNA test being done, she would try to do something. She is that way, to make it that boy is a Cassadine. See, just like she does, I don't want to know. I don't know if my daughter is your daughter or your daughter. I would change those tests though and keep that secret for another 20 years. She would do that. Brooklyn also says, "How come Josh doesn't tell my girl Trina that Dex had evidence to put Sonny away and he was the one on video in exchange from Pipeman and Sonny?" Bottom line, Jocelyn doesn't want Trina to get killed. See, Jocelyn shouldn't know. Dex should not be telling Jocelyn as much as he's told Jocelyn. Trina definitely does not need to know Sonny's business. Trina is not protected at all by the mob. Jocelyn at least is protected under Sonny's protection. So Trina, that would be like giving her a death sentence. And Jocelyn also knows Trina can't keep her mouth shut. Please, can't keep her mouth shut at all. And then Brooklyn says, "I can't wait until the battle between Tracy and Miss Wu. This storyline is going to be very entertaining." How is Tracy and Wu coming up against each other? I don't know that. Brooklyn says, it does make sense. Carly's money is mostly from her exes. All she has to do is get a temporary place, a job, to be close to her man. And then DB says, "Not sure why Carly doesn't have that type of money." Let's see, she only needs about 1 to 2 more to pay that bill. 1 to 2 million, 2 more million to pay that bill. LaShanta says, "Sam bonded with Nell." I don't ever remember Sam bonding with Nell. P. Merle said, "What?" I mean, I don't ever remember that. Agreed. Nope, Sam did not bond with Nell, or whatever bond means. NK Rose says, "Carly probably dated or married more men." Oh, she has probably dated or married more men than Nina, but Nina's faked a disability to get back with her husband, bullied Willow because of Valentine, well, really Charlotte, and manipulated Sonny. Well, to the statement, I think Carly probably married or dated more men than Nina, yeah. But guess what? Had Nina not been in a coma for 20 years, who's to say how many men she wouldn't have run through? I'm just saying. Because if I slept for 20 years, a whole lot of other women would surpass who I've dated and slept with, right? Let's see. And then I don't think NK Rose says, I don't think Nina is more independent than Carly. She was born into privilege and bought her magazine after coming out of the coma. Maxie did the most, did the most of the work. I don't know that Nina owns, I don't think Nina ever bought Crimson. I used to always say, take out your checkbook and buy the magazine, Nina, because she used to complain about being scrutinized, whether it was Jax trying to tell her what to do or could tell her what to do. She didn't like Peter August trying to tell her what to do. There was no reason Nina didn't just pick up her paycheck and write a check and buy it. That's all she needed to do. I think she didn't have enough confidence in herself. Now, if somehow I missed the memo and Nina did buy it, somebody put when and what was the circumstances when she actually bought Crimson magazine. I don't think she did. NK Rose says, no. Lashunta says, I'm glad Dex put hands on Spencer. I'm over Finn and Liz. Portia's a busybody, have a seat. Worried about Curtis. How a week passed so far. Cyrus waiting for Drew, shaking my head. I don't understand why put him there with hardened criminals. That judge is crooked. Let him turn it in. He's going to jail. I don't understand that part. It'll be proven to be fake. Yeah, I don't get that part. Now everyone expects Josh to tell Trina everything, but Trina doesn't suppose to tell Josh nothing. Didn't get mad at Esme. Bevate, you got whooped. Don't be mad at Esme. Was that because you got whooped, Spencer? Ron says, Spencer, will we think things somehow and end up with Esme if he starts drinking wine again? But yeah, and make sure if he's drunk, Esme will really maneuver that. And Maxie will find out Brooklyn lied about going back to work. So that's it on Comment Corner. I will be back on Monday with another daily recap of General Hospital.